The Toronto Raptors have a special momentum right now, and they reached their first NBA Finals ever. So this video, you see the reasons they're capable of doing the impossible. Golden State's won 6.5 straight with Durant out, and the reigning 5-time Western Conference champs are the heavy favorites across the mainstream media. But I'm breaking down every fact that favors Toronto in this matchup, and then it's the exact prediction: who wins the 2019 NBA Finals and in how many games. First, a shout out to Hattie, who is right about Milwaukee not being able to defend home court in Game 5, crediting the heart of Norm Powell and Lowry ending his shooting slump for the prediction, right about both those things. The top 5 on the shout out board get rewards at the end of this year. Stay tuned for tonight's question. Before the NBA Finals, Kawhi Leonard just had the 6th highest scoring first 3 rounds ever, with 561 points. The heart he showed in dealing with double teams and injury should elevate to a whole new level, of course, because it's the biggest stage in basketball, the NBA Finals, but also his history with Golden State. Kawhi had 26 points, and the Spurs led by 25 at one point in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals back in 2017 until the third quarter. That's when one of the dirtiest plays in recent memory happened, as Zaza Pachulia cuts under Leonard's corner 3. That kept him out for the series and led to a Warriors sweep.
A two-step lead with your foot closeout is not appropriate. It's dangerous, it's unsportsmanlike, it's just not what anybody does.
But the last time Kawhi was on the court, he was tearing up the Warriors' defense. Now, 2 years later, producing at a historic rate in every area, he's got the home court advantage. Pachulia is not a Warrior anymore, but Kawhi definitely remembers what went on to happen after the dirty play that took him out, and he'll have an added bit of focus going for revenge. Expect a historic finals from Kawhi. The offensive explosion that we've been seeing from Steph reminded basketball fans why Golden State was such an intriguing team from 2014 to 2016 before they signed KD. The numbers that Curry posted in the conference finals were ridiculous: 36.5 points per game, 47% shooting, 43% from deep, while grabbing an astounding 8.3 rebounds and 7.3 assists. The 8 rebounds at his size is insane. However, the Blazers didn't really have the personnel to keep up on either side, while Toronto with Lowry, Danny Green, and Fred VanVleet have much stronger defensive options in the backcourt, and Steph won't get the kind of looks he did in the conference finals. All throughout Toronto's lineup, there are quick, aggressive guards or forwards that will harass the perimeter. I'm sure we'll see Kawhi on Steph at times. I think Kawhi is going to take Thompson for the most part. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Nick Nurse's game planning for Giannis is about to adjust its entire attention on Steph. In the early playoffs, Toronto's most reliable second option was budding young star Pascal Siakam. His numbers through Toronto's first 11 playoff games were definitely very impressive, especially considering it was his first time in this kind of role in the playoffs. But then the next 6 games, he averaged just 13.3 points on under 40% shooting, 22% on his threes. But Siakam's athleticism and versatility has the potential to create matchup problems for Golden State. Durant's health, by the way, is coming up, but defensively for the Raptors is where the combo of Siakam and Leonard is really dominated. And in different ways, both Toronto and Golden State's defense is another reason why Toronto has a shot at doing the impossible in these finals. First off, the Warriors have the 9th best defensive efficiency out of the 16 playoff teams at 110.2. That rating is the worst of the Warriors' defensive efficiency during the 5 straight finals appearances, and by a long shot. 105.3 was their previous worst, which was back in 2017. Not since the 2000 Lakers has a team finished 9th or lower in the postseason in defensive efficiency and went on to win a championship. Meanwhile, Toronto's got to this point with their smothering style defense, slowing down the 3 elite scorers in Philly and also Ben Simmons, then shutting down another all-star in Middleton, along with the most infamous defensive mauling, which was on the probable 2019 MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shooting and driving against the defensive genius that is Kawhi Leonard, it's unlike any contest from a player in the league. And when Durant isn't in the Warriors lineup, Kawhi gets to try and lock down either Steph or Klay. If one of those two could be significantly slowed down, then Golden State may have problems. Against the Bucks, it was primarily Siakam guarding Giannis, so from the Warriors' perspective, scoring against these two active, long, and smart defenders, it's going to be an extreme adjustment to make from Portland's defense. Milwaukee's Game 6 15-point lead was evaporated in about 2 minutes. It's no cakewalk when you go in the paint. Gasol is one of the best rim protectors in the league. Lowry's a top defender at his position. Also, another one of Toronto's top perimeter defenders, OG Anunoby, is set to make his return these finals. When or if Durant comes back, OG's height, strength, and wingspan would be another matchup for the Snake. Coming up is my exact prediction, but speaking of Durant, he's out for Game 1, and his fellow ring chaser Boogie Cousins is questionable. Golden State has looked like their unstoppable old scrappy selves without these two, though. Draymond Green's proven he's still a top two-way player in the NBA, and Stephen Curry being back as the clear-cut #1 scoring option has made him the most dominant version of himself we've ever seen. If one or both of Durant and Cousins come back, it could take time to redevelop a rhythm, but if they don't return, I think Toronto's defense is strong enough to key in on either Thompson or Curry to slow them down. Toronto's role players I trust to produce more than I do Golden State's. The Raptors bench point guard Fred VanVleet shot 14 of 17 from deep to close out the conference finals, and their bench shooting guard Norman Powell shot over 50% from three-point range in that series. Durant's former teammate, also off the bench, Serge Ibaka, averaged 20 points against the Warriors this season. He's still an above-average rim protector and a versatile defensive big. But this series is going to come down to Toronto's 3 X factors in the starting lineup. Danny Green is the only one of the 3 who isn't making his finals debut. He set an NBA Finals record back in 2014 for the most threes made. I'm predicting he breaks away from the brutal shooting slump he's had these playoffs and puts up beastly numbers in the finals yet again. Then there's Marc Gasol and Kyle Lowry, who both shot over 40% from distance in the conference finals. So despite Danny Green, who I believe will get it going, all of Toronto's weapons from three-point range are shooting efficiently and getting hot at the perfect time. Do those reasons mean Toronto pulls off the upset and shocks America? Well, Toronto is only the second team to sweep Golden State in the regular season in the Steve Kerr era, also becoming one of the 6 teams this year to beat them by 20+ on their home floor. Although it's incredibly tough to bet against the 3-time champs, Toronto has a special momentum right now, and they play with significantly more heart than any team the Warriors have seen in a very long time. The Raptors have had 2 of their biggest playoff comebacks in franchise history in 2019, and the reason Toronto consistently fights back, like in Games 5 and 6 of the conference finals, is because they have top defenders at every position. They can flip a switch and turn on the pressure at any time. Of course, facing Golden State will be a different animal, but I think Toronto will be ready to adjust to the Warriors more than Golden State will be to adjust to the Raptors. Toronto wins this series in a shocking 6 games, and for the second time in his career, Kawhi Leonard snaps a three-peat while winning Finals MVP. But who do you think takes the 2019 title, and in how many games? Best answer gets the shout-out. For NBA lists, stories, and predictions, be sure to hit subscribe to stay tuned. This was your boy Dflow. Thanks a ton for watching. See you next video.